right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. And we are here again in the GK Visual Podcast studio. It's still kind of new for us, so we're getting our legs underneath us and checking things out. But we have a special guest with us today, a good friend of mine for over 20 years now. I was thinking about it today. Time flies. Brandon Martin, President and CEO of American Music Theater, all the way from Lancaster County.
Lancaster. Thanks for saying it properly.
There we go. Well, it's funny. Our last podcast, we have a new member of our team who is unfamiliar with how local towns are pronounced around here. So
that'll get you booze on stage.
Has it ever happened at AMT?
Regularly? Yeah.
What's the last person to do that?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you. It's so often.
Really?
And you try to prep the artist before they go on stage without sounding kind of like an idiot. Like, hey, FYI, you pronounce it Lancaster, not Lancaster. I'm like, what? Yeah, whatever.
I think it's happened every time I was at the Chameleon Club.
Oh yeah,
sure.
They'll
That
say,
would make sense.
Yeah. Thank you, Lancaster. And yeah.
They may not get booed. They will get verbally corrected from the audience.
I feel like
guaranteed.
They'll yell Lancaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like Lancaster's, they'll let it slide. They understand. I mean,
we're a gracious town.
Depends on the show, I guess.
Yeah,
they're not walking out, but
right.
Yeah.
But they're not throwing their beers, right?
Right. There you go.
Well, Brandon, thanks so much for being here. I thought we'd jump in a little bit about you, AMT, what it is, but why don't we start with AMT? What is American Music Theater? What do you guys do?
Yeah. Well, and thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here. This is such a cool setup you got here.
Thanks.
Glad you guys are doing this. AMT, we're a 1,600 seat live entertainment venue. One of the only, if not the only, in the country that functions both as a concert venue for live tours and also produces their own in-house annual production.
I don't think I realized it was such a small number of theaters.
There's others that do that, but they may not be at a national level with their touring acts or not full encompassing in-house production that they're kind of building and staging concurrently with the concert season. So a little bit unique in that regard. We're totally independent, meaning we're not affiliated with any national level promoters. We are in-house promotion, in-house ticketing. We're kind of wholesale, the whole shebang. So that gives us a little flexibility, allows us to stay nimble and very in touch with our audience as well.
What kind of acts are you guys having in outside of your own productions?
Yeah, it really kind of runs the gamut. We kind of have a sweet spot with country, classic rock, some bluegrass, do a little comedy, plenty of kind of oldies, R&B and soul. Stuff from the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s are getting big in our wheelhouse. So yeah, we've dabbled in it all, but
I've it's not funny, but a lot of times some of these artists that are up there in age that you'll book them and sadly they do not make it till their show date.
Yeah. Roll the dice on some of those for sure. But
we've been working with you guys for, I don't even know how long now. It's been years and years, recording a lot of your own productions.
That's
right. Specifically, the Christmas show has been the big one for us. Do you want to tell us how that started, what that even is? I mean, it's a beast of a production.
Yeah, and going back to when we initially opened, the intent was never for us to be a concert venue. That was never the purpose. We were supposed to be similar to like a Branson style theater where we do these like musical reviews, right? Mm-hmm. Really catering to the group travel industry, people who show up in buses and they're coming to Lancaster County. And I think a year or two into AMT's existence.
Which one was when? When did AMT open?
1997.
Okay.
You just gave away one of my answers, though, for a trivia.
Oh, jeez. Well, you can't blame me for that.
No, it was a very valid question. You're right on point.
I would have been off. I think
what would your guess have been?
This is probably
just so I know.
One of Nick's wheelhouses is guessing years. So
okay, because we can We can play that too.
No, I would have said maybe. I would have said 2003. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not off. I mean, it's not terrible.
I mean, the building itself looks like it's timeless. So, it's
Thank you. I spent a lot of time dusting.
good.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Yes.
No. Yeah, like a year or two into it, though. So, I don't know, 98, 99. My father, who was one of the founders, built a theater. They were approached by a promoter for the Statler brothers, I believe.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you ever think about doing concerts in between your shows? Because we had, a show that ran all spring and summer, and then the big Christmas show that opened in the fall. I guess we'll try it. That turned out great, and it was probably more lucrative than the shows we were doing even, and so that turned into a few shows a year.
Were the Statler brothers the first show there? First concert?
I think so. I think I think the biggest or the first kind of name brand original band, not a tribute artist or anything like that. So they were selling out like 5 nights a week.
Wow.
Or 5 nights at a time. So that led to more concerts, and that just kind of grew. Our Christmas show has kind of always been our bread and butter, and the thing we pour our heart and soul into each year that I don't ever see going anywhere. But 10 months out of the year, we're a concert venue.
Okay,
yep.
Good deal. Mm-hmm. And you guys used to do other productions outside of the Christmas show, is that right? But you're not doing those anymore?
Yeah, with so we would in the spring and summer have a themed show that same as the Christmas show. We would write it, direct it, produce it in-house, and that might be hits from the British invasion, or it might be California soul, always a theme to it. To be honest, we always struggled with that a little bit. It felt a little bit like reinventing the wheel, whereas you have a set brand in Christmas of itself. It was always easy to build upon that. Felt like we were kind of starting from scratch with our summertime shows, and really COVID is what put the initial kibosh on that. Yeah. Coming out of COVID, we had 80 or 90 concerts that had been postponed that we had to contractually had to fulfill, had to have dates for them. So we didn't have room that year coming out of COVID to do a summer show. And we kind of never went back to it. Yeah.
Does that mean now you fill up more of your schedule throughout the year with concerts?
Yeah. Historically we might have had like high 60s, low 70s, number of concerts a year. And we did 100 shows, 100 performances, just concerts in 2024, which was our most to date. Yeah.
What's on the lineup coming up? This podcast will probably come out beginning of February. So anything on the horizon that we should be aware of?
Yeah, I mean, we've, so as of today, we're at 78 shows already confirmed for 2024. Wow. I will never remember 25? All of them off the top. 25. I won't remember all of them off the top of my head. We got some fun ones. Boys to Men are kicking off February.
Okay. All right.
We got some fun ones. Vitamin String Quartet. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one also in February.
I am not. Vitamin String.
Oh, so you're not excited about it, or you don't know about it?
I'm not aware of that.
Possibly both.
I think my kids would get it.
Get me excited. Let me hear about
it. Fun show. Take the whole
they're a string quartet, like a pop string quartet that takes top 40 albums typically and redoes them in a classical style. It's a lot of fun this tour. They're doing songs of Taylor Swift and Bridgerton.
Oh, okay.
So
did the Cat Power show happen?
That did happen.
Okay.
That was last September, I believe.
How'd that go?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
It was beautiful. It was one of those shows
she was doing Bob Dylan songs?
Yeah, she did Bob Dylan's the full album, the Live from the Royal Albert Hall.
Okay.
Was it like 1964, I think?
Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
There's one of those you could just sit there and close your eyes and just like kind of be in a dream state throughout the show. Is really cool, very mellow. Which our venue's great for that type of show, right? We're not a party show place by any stretch. Kind of a great place for the true blue fan, the audiophile who wants to sit there and actually just listen to the music.
Well, it does sound awesome. Right. Almost anywhere you're sitting in there. That's one of the nice things about seeing a show there. And the other thing, you're not fighting to see the stage either.
Yeah. Leads me to know. Can we just break out the trivia I have planned?
Let's do
this
it.
is maybe
You got
stupid,
trivia.
but I brought gifts, and I don't give anything away for free. So I thought I'd ask some
extremely
questions and
competitive,
make
so
you guys
I'm
win
excited.
them.
Oh,
Our swag is way less cool than GK Visuals. I will say that.
I appreciate you sporting your GK hat.
This hat. I think this hat's like 5 years old.
Do you know we get people to buy that hat once in a while when we're at?
Do you still have it?
Beer? I think
available?
we probably have some. People will buy it at these beer festivals we'll go to for Port and PA, not knowing at all what GK is, and they're just like, "Oh, it's a cool hat."
Yeah.
Well, everybody asked me. That's why it's a brilliant hat. It's just like giant GK, and everybody's like, "That's got to be something awesome because it's so big." And I make them guess.
I
So it means quality.
It's a name that stands for quality.
I had a hat similar to that. The reason I liked that style, I was at a distillery in Kentucky, and they sold KY hats, very similar to that, but got confused with another product named KY.
Yeah, I was going to say, the state.
It was
right.
little, the state of Kentucky.
I get that.
Versus another product. Yeah.
This is an umbrella.
Okay.
Might not get too excited about our umbrella, but this umbrella is awesome.
I want it.
Well, actually, umbrellas in my house are...
Well, and it's the time of year. We need this stuff. We're going out there. We're all grown adults now. You got to have a good umbrella. It's not only branded with American Music Theater. You can Sharpie it out if you want.
Autographed?
I will autograph it.
All right.
It's auto open and auto close.
Auto close?
Yeah.
That I've never seen
Now,
before.
you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, it's a nice little short umbrella. It's probably about this big. No, it's dual hinged. It's wider than this table is.
Get out of here.
That's up for grabs.
Okay.
For the first trivia question.
All right. Bring it on. Let's go.
Well, we have two people
they're in
production as well.
Oh, yeah.
Are we're bringing them in?
Sure.
All right. We got
they're
Sean
in.
and Doug here
I
in the
feel like you and
background.
me, it's too easy for me to grab.
I only brought 3 gifts because I didn't know.
Well,
Well,
we'll see what happens here.
it's whoever wins, though.
Okay. Let's get loosened up here.
Nick ruined the first question. What year did AMT first open
97.
doors?
Well, I said
it
it
doesn't
first.
count, though.
Did I get the umbrella?
97.
Oh, I think, okay. This question was also already answered. So you guys are like all over
pay
it
attention,
in
though.
terms of hosting. Let's see if
we
you
are
actually
really good. Apparently,
you are.
Let me see if I
you know
remember
what
what
you're
we
doing.
talked about.
This will test if you were listening.
Okay.
2-part question, actually.
All right.
And you have to get both parts correct. How many seats are in AMT, and what percentage of them would be considered good seats?
Did we
All
talk
of
about
them,
that?
100% will be good seats.
Well, that's obviously correct.
But I just told you. I told you the number a minute ago. We'll go with like closest.
600.
Sean.
I'm going to say 2,500.
Okay.
I'm going to say 90% of them are great seats. 10% are good seats.
Who brought in 90%? 100%, sir.
Well, the second part is
Doug,
wrong.
you have a guess?
I'm going to say
Can I rewind the tape?
5,000 seats, and every single one we're getting.
I'm at 3,500.
Jeez, I was aware.
And you were what, 600?
Yeah, sorry. That's embarrassing.
Have you been there?
I have, but I'm not good. I'm not good spatially.
He's there like 3 times a year. Spatially.
Yeah.
He's on the tight camera. He doesn't see the wide shot.
I'm working the whole time. Yeah, looking at the stage.
But you said 600, and you would actually be closest. What was your second part to the answer, though?
100%.
Yeah. Nick, we have 1,600 seats. So
So you
1,600.
just tuned part of him out and heard 600.
I missed.
he was there.
I was wrong.
You were
by
off by 1,000, but it's fine.
1,000 seats.
Yeah.
Well, wait, what did you say? You were both off by 1,000.
I
weren't you?
said like what? I was like 3,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sean said 2,500.
It's sort of like The Price is Right. I don't think we went over this, but so I didn't go over.
If anyone needs an
open
umbrella,
this.
it's Nick. He's never prepared for any
Well,
sort of weather
that's fair.
ever. So that's a good gift for him.
Enjoy
Be
that
on a
umbrella.
shoot.
Thank you
He's
very
in a
much. Can we shut
sweatshirt
off
in the middle.
Sean's mic, please?
All right.
Shut off your mic.
Next up for grabs, This is a double wall insulated Brandon travel.
Now we're talking.
Branded.
I'll trade you if I get this.
Travel mug. Hot or cold, you got options. Whatever you want to put in there. I was hoping Kellen would be here because she seems to leave her travel mugs all over the.
Did she ever come and get it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is just like general theater stuff too. There is a light that is on theaters in general.
The ghost light.
Jeez, you didn't let me.
Am I right?
Yeah. Boom. Yeah. Wow.
Well, let's keep going because I want to know what a ghost light is.
Scoot it over here.
Let's educate some people. There's a light that's left burning on the stage of all theaters, even when the stage is dark.
Do you guys do that?
The theater's closed. We do.
Oh,
absolutely.
Okay.
So there's never not a light on the stage. That's a like very kind of historical. It goes back to like Shakespearean times. That every theater is supposedly inhabited by a ghost, and if it gets ticked off if you shut all the lights off.
Where is that on the stage or the theater?
Right on the stage. It's so it's like an aluminum base, just a rod on 4 legs with a incandescent bulb screwed into the top of it on a long extension cord, and before the lights get turned out, it gets plopped right in the center of the stage. It's a ghost light.
Okay.
Not a real theater unless you got one.
May have seen that.
Next question. Let's go.
Oh, what's in the goodie bag? This is the last one
here. Ooh, do I see tickets?
These are tickets.
Ooh, all right.
2 of them. Jeez. Old Crow Medicine Show.
Okay.
All right.
Friday.
I'm listening.
May 9th. We've had them once before, and it was an absolutely phenomenal show.
I want to go to this show.
It was awesome. Name the artist or band with the most performances at American Music Theater
in their history.
In AMT's history,
AMT's
who has
history.
Performed the most?
My gosh, I'm trying to think of the
number of
advertisements I
shows.
see.
I mean, I have
at AMT.
multiple guesses.
Like original band or artist, not including like any tributes or anything like that.
All right, I got one in my head.
What you got?
Righteous Brothers.
It's a good guess.
Thank you.
Not.
But I mean,
I gotta say Statler Brothers if they were one of the first.
Yeah, close. Cigar.
Well, let me think.
Kind of like in the right vein.
Anybody?
Anybody?
I got nothing.
Who's the gospel group of guys? Another brothers group, right? Nope.
How about Herman's Hermits?
Also a good guess. Peter Noon's been there a good many times, but doesn't trump the Oak Ridge Boys.
Oak Ridge Boys.
So sorry, nobody gets a ticket.
All right, another question.
I don't know.
We're paying to get in.
I'd go see the Oak Ridge Boys.
In most concert venues, live studios, there's a room that the artists hang out in.
Green room?
Called the Green Room.
Okay.
That better not be the answer.
That's not the answer. There are a few.
What's on the rider?
A few, like
green M&Ms.
Accepted origins to the name Green Room.
Oh, okay.
That also date back to like Shakespearean times.
Okay.
You can get even remotely close.
Wow, great
Does it
question.
have anything to do with the limelight?
Really?
Boom.
You got to share one of those with somebody.
Well,
no, you don't. It's
see if
actually
these
your
guys-
studio. You do it.
All right, go in more detail about the limelight and why Green Room.
There's kind of 3 like commonly held origins of the Green Room. One being that green is a calming color. I don't think anybody knew that back then, so I'm not going with that one.
I'm checking my calendar right now and make sure I can go to this.
Also heard that they used to have a lot of greenery, plants and shrubs that would keep like performers' voices hydrated. And keep the air a little bit more humid. Good place for them to hang out before going on stage. Probably most commonly though is the limelight. Before electricity and before spotlights, they would illuminate artists on stage using a spotlight. So it would be like a projectile lighting instrument that burned like a nugget of lime that would burn so hot that, you know, could, with a mirror, they could project that light onto
completely
the stage.
safe too.
Totally safe. Yeah. OSHA approved. But it would cast like a green hue on the artists. And
I just looked at the date here.
Something
That
like
is
that.
Mother's Day weekend, so I happen to have a Mother's Day gift now too. So this is just working out great.
Look at you.
this is, you're so glad you had me come up here.
I am.
Can I ask just a little more about, you know, behind the scenes, working with these artists? How's that work? Like, are they coming to you? Are you looking for them?
Yeah.
A mix of both?
Yep, mix of both. Usually, you know, early summer, spring, summer, we kind of start to collect a target list, and that could be a few hundred different acts that we know are A, touring, B, kind of in our wheelhouse of playing rooms our size, and, you know, within like a budget that makes sense. And we'll start formulating offers, you know, be in contact with their agents and their teams and seeing like what kind of money are they looking for. We'll start to see if that's worth it to us. We'll put together offers and start kicking out offers for the following year. Starting around that same time also, there's acts that are trying to route their tours. They're trying to puzzle piece their tour together, and they may come to us saying like, hey, we've got a show in Baltimore on the 9th, and then we're going to be up in New York City on the 11th. What do you think about having us on the 10th? You know, honestly, about 50-50. We end up with ones that we were going after, and some come to us. And yeah, it's just always a matter of what makes sense and can we strike a deal.
Are there some that come back every year and you're like, yeah, it's gonna happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a good number who've just built such a following in Lancaster or with our audience that it just makes sense, like, to have them back every year.
Yeah.
They love it, or the fans love it, and why not?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anybody that you would not have back after they're like dealing with them? I mean, you can just say yes or no. I'm not going to make you call out anybody.
Yes.
But okay.
Not many. Very few.
Not many. Okay. All
Very
right.
few.
You guys are a venue that does not serve alcohol, so I know that sometimes can be a plus for a lot of people, a
Yep.
minus for some people. What's the decision there? Is that something that might change? What do you guys think on that?
Yeah, kind of goes back originally because we weren't going to be a concert venue. It never really made sense for us to have a liquor license or serve alcohol. So it wasn't part of the theater at its genesis. You know, and then probably for like the last 10 years, it's been a serious conversation every year. You know, it's something that sets us apart.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of people, especially if they're, you know, coming for the first time, are kind of surprised. Like, you know, where's the bar? We don't have one. And they're kind of taken aback. Like, what kind of concert venue wouldn't?
Right.
You know, what,
right. How am I going to enjoy the show now? Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And then they find out they really enjoyed.
Yeah, so kind of
the music itself,
organically,
yeah.
It's become a little bit part of who we are, in that we are as much a listening room as we are a concert venue. You know, yeah, the downsides might be a rock show where a lot of people want to have a beer. I get that.
I saw a Cheap Trick there, and they lit the place on fire almost.
Yeah.
And
So
if alcohol would have been involved, it would have been chaos.
Literally, that happened. Yeah. But you're also going to see a show at AMT unlike anywhere else, I think. And the artists have said that too, you know. Yeah, you won't, our floors aren't sticky for one. Mm-hmm. You're not going to have that guy over your shoulder yelling, play Freebird incessantly in your ear. Yeah. It's a little bit more of a relaxed experience. Not always, it depends on the show, but you know, it's a place you can come and kind of really connect with the artists. And the artists, we hear that from them as well. They're also equally surprised sometimes when they show up. Maybe their agent didn't tell them.
Really? Okay.
Like, wait, this is a dry venue? Like, yeah.
We have to sound good tonight.
Yeah, and then, you know, when they come back, and you know, they've said the set I do at AMT is not the same set I play elsewhere on tour. They tell more stories. They might explain their songs a little bit more because they can.
people are listening. There's
the time
engaged.
and space and kind of the attentiveness for them to be a little bit more intimate and sometimes even like vulnerable with the audience.
Sure.
And that's kind of a cool thing to see. I've just grown to love the amount of kids I see.
Yeah.
Like, how many kids are at their first rock show because they can.
Sure.
The parents kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's pros and cons. There's a bunch of shows. I'm like, boy, it makes sense to have some beers at this show. But that would be us kind of attempting to be more similar to every other concert venue, like literally every other concert venue. Wherein, I think we're doing pretty well having carved out this niche in the industry. Yeah. So, again, something we revisit often. I think for the time being, we're going to stick with what we got.
It's also a place I'd have no problem with my kids running out to the lobby by themselves.
That's right.
Going to the bathroom by themselves. It's just, it feels safe. I think the new alcohol is part of that reason. I think the acts, I think just location, your staff is excellent. I mean, when we shoot the Christmas show every year and we're lugging gear in, and when I'm moving around with the camera, they're shining a light at the floor for me so I can see where I'm going. They're like on top of it, very helpful and very friendly. You go to a lot of concerts and that is not the case at other venues. So
yeah. So on that, you have a lot of ushers you employ, and then the for the Christmas show, I mean, you have it's like a Broadway show. Mm-hmm. Where's everybody coming from?
Yeah,
these actors,
sure,
and everything.
Yeah, casting. Really kind of begins. Those wheels start to turn like now for the end of the year. Everything from casting to design to music composition, all of that, choreography. Those pieces are starting to come together. They start as sketches and they build out from there. We cast the show, singers, dancers, musicians from all over the country. We get some from New York, LA, Vegas, and plenty locally as well. We hold auditions like anywhere would. Scenically, we operate a scenic design and build shop not too far from the theater, but off-site. And we have a whole team over there of artists and set builders that are working year round.
Do you store the sets and everything that you have, like kind of almost a
what makes sense to store? Not everything is worth keeping, and we never exactly do the same show twice. We have kind of a five-year cycle of titles and general themes, but essentially each year is built from the ground up for the most part. Yeah,
and I assume then when you're bringing in people, like you're saying, from all over, but you do get some local talent in as well. How would somebody get involved if that's of interest to them?
Yep, great question. Appreciate you asking, because we have auditions and sometimes that can just be digital too. Send us a reel, but we post that on social media, on our website. We've got a page for that.
You have a lot of kids in your shows too, which is I think tough when you're working with kids. Can only work so many hours. How's that?
It depends how much you yell at them, but yeah. No, we do a swing, kind of a dual casting with kids. So we've got, 2 different teams for each show, whereas the adult performers are in the whole run. We split up the run throughout the week between the 2 teams. So probably have 20 youth performers. When
I'm editing the show, my daughter is, I work from home and my daughter is behind me and she wants to get involved.
Yeah.
She's 5 years old.
Let's get her going. She's got an umbrella. She's already halfway in.
So I know a guy that, we'll talk.
We'll talk.
All right.
So if people are coming,
I won free tickets and she's
there you go.
If they're coming from, you're saying New York, LA, and where are they staying? Are they finding places in Lancaster?
Yeah, we actually provide housing for them.
Okay.
We maintain a couple homes.
No kidding. Okay.
Right in proximity to the theater there, where we can put up about half the cast, and we try to kind of keep at least a certain number local as well. And we're fortunate that we have we have a surprising level of talent in Lancaster locally here. But with the just the theaters we have between the Fulton Theater, Prima, Sight and Sound, there's a community of performers that are pretty high caliber.
Right? Yeah, and musicians. I mean, geez, it's funny, you sit and watch the Christmas show and you kind of forget that everything you're hearing is live.
Yeah. They're insane.
They really are.
It's a 9. We call them an orchestra. There are only 9 of them. I mean, it's technically a band, but what they can pull off is insane. Totally live. There's no tracks, not a single track in the show, vocally or instrumentally.
Which if you see this show, if you get a chance to see it and just listen to what is going on musically, like it's a whole nother show.
Yeah, it's true. Very true. Yeah. Those guys are dynamite.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was going to throw it back a little bit. Brandon and I met when we went to Full Sail together at school in Florida. I went for film. Brandon went for show production, right? So what led you from where you started with school to getting back into the family business?
Yeah, a real twisted trail to here. I went to school to study. I studied live show production, so I wanted to be an audio engineer. That was kind of my thing. I was exposed to that at a young age, like setting up chairs at Hershey Stadium. Like I used to, be the schlepper crew there after Rolling Stones or U2 played or whatever. We'd do some shows in Philly, and we were the grunts. But I would always kind of get exposed and see these guys who worked on the technical side of these shows, and they toured. They got on the tour bus too, and then they left for the next city. I was like, man, that's got to be fun. That's kind of what I wanted to do. That's what I went to school for. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to get hired by Clare Brothers. They were Clare Brothers Audio at the time. Now they're Clare Global. They provide the audio systems and support for these mega tours globally. And did that for about 5 years.
Yeah, every time I check in with you after school, you're on a different tour with a different artist. And it was like everything from, it was one boy band, right?
Yeah, I got my start with NSYNC.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Paul Simon then?
McCartney.
McCartney, wow, okay.
Yep. Yeah, McCartney, Guns N' Roses, Shania Twain, Mark Anthony, wrapped up with Gloria Estefan.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's some heavy hitters.
Yeah, some big shows,
intimate shows.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean,
what were you doing? What were you doing then for those?
All audio related.
Yeah.
Depending on the tour, it could have been like monitor tech or Claire. Systems engineer. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, you saw the big board we're working with here too, so
that's impressive.
Thanks.
It's about how you use it.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I hear. Good deal. Well, the future of AMT, anything looking forward to, or just keeping?
Yeah, I think we're always looking at ways we can deliver what the audience is asking for. Like I said earlier, being an independent promoter, owning the venue, we're afforded a direct connection to our fans, like not our fans, but our audience.
I don't mean to stop you there, but that is so rare these days. Most of these venues are getting bought up. Yeah, right?
They're bought up, or they're just Ticketmaster. Yeah. The only way to buy tickets is, Ticketmaster.com. Nothing wrong with that. But
we could debate that.
Yeah, that's another podcast perhaps. But you can stop in our lobby and purchase your tickets from a human. You can call us on the phone and purchase your tickets from a human. Of course, online is great too. But and even on from a social media presence standpoint, we keep that relationship open with folks who are interested, and allows us to kind of keep our thumb on the pulse of what people want, and as importantly, what they don't want. So able to kind of maintain the brand in a unique way, I think. Yeah.
Well, we've always enjoyed working with you, and you guys do just a killer job.
Well, likewise,
everything you do. So
you guys just hit home runs in terms of, as you've said, just telling a story through video, and photography has just been out of the park every time. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Good team here. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, I appreciate you stopping in and visiting
Thank you for the
us
opportunity.
anytime, and always enjoy getting beers with you sometimes. So maybe we can do that again. We always say it, but
I know. We got to be better about that.
yeah.
Right now.
Right. Let's do it. All right. Well, if you're looking for anything with AMT, where do they find concerts and shows?
AMTshows.com.
That's pretty easy.
Yep. Don't go anywhere else. There's a lot of skeezers
fake
out there trying to scam your money from you. I'll tell you what, don't Google a show. Even if it's not for us, like anywhere, don't Google a show. Find the direct seller. Only go to their website.
All right.
It's my public service
There's a tip.
All right.
Tip from the man. All right. Thanks a lot. And we'll talk later.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.